Yo. So, this is in black and white because, due to the stories, I think we're gonna go for a noir feeling. Also, I don't know if that's the right word because my brain is dead. As per usual, I'm probably gonna be kind of derpy. I usually am in my videos due to my jacked up sleep schedule. And yeah. Um, So for our NEU short story contest, which was super last minute and not really organized, it was just kind of a, hey, let's do a thing. And I didn't really have a lot of time to advertise it or whatever, because work, and again, wasn't really planned out. It was sporadic, just kind of a why not thing. Um, yeah, but we got like 3 entries. And the winner of that was Miss Lydia. But we're going to read all of the entries, which were all equally beautiful. Um, but evidently Lydia's was a little more beautiful, not to hurt the other contestants. But she won. Okay, we'll start with hers. Sorry if I stutter or sound derpy, but I'm, kind of in a lay derp type feel mode. Alright, hold up, we gotta find this. Doop-a-doo-ba-doo. Am I not just the most prepared person ever? Like, much preparation, such organized, wow. 10 out of 10, wood business again. Can you tell I'm the director of marketing with all of this professionalism? Okay. Alright. Got the first story pulled up. This doesn't have a title on it, but this is the one that Lydia entered. Entered? Is... I don't know. Anyways. A girl wandered the earth, lost, vacant, alone. Her world was suddenly flipped upside down when she saw a sight that no one had ever before seen. A tree. Its bark was rough to the touch, but there was something else about it. Something more. Pressing her palm to the trunk of the tree, she felt it come to life under her skin. A loving, warm feeling began to spread through her arms. A voice echoed in her head. Hug me. I've been alone for so long. It sounded heartbroken. The girl felt her heart reach towards the tree. Gathering strength, she curled her arms around its trunk and pressed her face against its bark. I'm here, she whispered to the lonely tree, and I'm never leaving. Scene. Yeah, it's kind of super beautiful, and it makes me really happy. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doom-doo-doo. Next entry. I gotta get back into my inbox. This is from Mr. Grant Brengman, I think is how you say it. But again, I'm kind of laid up. So if I'm wrong, I apologize and I owe you a Pegasus. But let me just get this all situated. Let me get this figured out real quick. Make this all nice and good. Okay, it's called You're a Young Girl. It's a bit more dramatic. Which is, again, sorry if I messed this up, but, you're a young girl. You have friends and a family that you love and that love you. You're a normal girl. You don't expect anything unusual to ever happen to you. You're a pretty girl. Your friends tease you about boys, but you claim you're a little too young for that. You're a shy girl. You don't want to be made fun of for who you're actually interested in. But despite your attempts to blend into the people around you, to be as normal as them, you're abducted on your way home from school one day. Also, sorry, pause. I'm gonna put the slightest trigger warning in here. It's nothing super serious, but just to be safe, I'm gonna throw that out there. The ground is cold, colder than that walk-in freezer at the fancy restaurant you toured with Grandma and Grandpa. Your knee hurts. It hurts worse than that time you went too fast down the hill on your bike. It smells disgusting, like that ugly woman in cheetah print clothes that walked by in the city the other day times 100. Your nose itches really bad, but you can't move your arms. They're tied to your feet with tight rope. You have to rub your nose on the cold floor, which only makes it hurt. It feels like your nose is going to stick to the ground like your tongue does when you lick a metal pole in the winter. When you rub your nose on the ground, you also realize that you're blindfolded, which explains why everything is dark. You also realize that you're only in your underwear, which explains why you're so cold. A door opens a few feet from you. From how the sound echoes, the room you're in is probably a little smaller than your bedroom. There are 2 sets of footsteps. The first set shouts something annoyed and steps close to you. It's a woman's voice in a language you don't know. The second voice replies from the doorway. He clearly doesn't care about whatever point the woman raised. Hands slide under you, which makes you jump, but they're warm and soft. And even though you know you shouldn't be okay with it, you kind of want to be. They set you on a bed against the wall that seems comfortable, but it's probably only because of how long you were on the ground. The woman says something again, this time right next to you. She's probably kneeling by the bed. She has a very strong, fruity smell, kind of tropical. Mangoes and peaches and pineapples and coconuts. She seems like a Jessica, and you can imagine exactly what she looks like. Tall, curly bronze hair, copper skin, bright green eyes, a colorful maxi skirt, and a short plain top with her belly showing a bit. It's probably not anything close to how she actually looks, but now you can't stop picturing her this way. You try to ask where you are, but they ignore you, or their answer gets lost in their conversation. Jessica begins to place her finger on you every once in a while as she's talking, prodding, but a gentle prodding. You find yourself glad it's her and not him, even though you don't know him yet. You ask more questions, but they probably don't understand you. You struggle against your restraints in an attempt to use body language, but nothing in their tone changes. They both leave without a warning, closing the door behind them. While no one is there, you pull at your bindings and manage to free your hands from your feet. Your hands are still together and your feet are still together, but you can move a lot easier now. You try to pull off the blindfold, but it's less of a blindfold and more of a metal headband that refuses to come off. It feels like hours before you hear anyone next, probably because you're so scared. And hungry. The door opens and someone with big feet and heavy steps enters. From the heavy breathing, it sounds like a guy, but you can't be too sure. He sets something on the bed by your feet and lifts you into a sitting position, your back leaning on the wall. He then sets a plate on your lap and puts your hands over it. You pick up a sandwich and hardly hesitate to bite into it. He bumps your hand with something and you set the sandwich down for a second as he puts a glass of water in your hands. You thank him, but he doesn't reply. Before you ask him questions, he leaves and closes the door behind him. It's another several hours before the door opens again. This time people are talking before they enter. It's Jessica, the man she was with earlier, and a new man. There's silence when they first step inside. The new man complains about something and carefully removes the ropes from your hands and then curses. Keeps talking and kneels beside you, tracing a single finger around your features. His touch is delicate, but his fingernail makes most of the contact, sending chill through your bones. He leans close to smell you and then breathes out. He smells really good, actually. Kind of metallic, but in a good way. Like the poles and bars on a playground. His voice is stern and confident. He's a Byron. You wouldn't be surprised if he was wearing a suit of some sort. He glances at the rope on your feet, grunts, and then says something to the others as they follow him out. Days come and go, visitors come and go. They speak in languages you don't know. They touch you in places you don't want to be touched, which is the trigger. You create a name and picture of each one. Then one day Marcus arrives. Jessica brings him in. You can't tell if the other guy's there or not. You know it's a Marcus as soon as he steps in the room because everything immediately smells like onions, alcohol, and tobacco smoke. There's a sniff that's almost a snort, a belch, a scratching of an itch, and an exhale that's half through the nose and half through the mouth. Instantly, he's fat, balding, wearing stained sweatpants and a torn white undershirt. If he were anywhere else, he'd have a beer bottle in one hand and a cigar in the other. You dread his approach. The smell worsens as he nears and you almost cough. He says something to Jessica and his voice sounds like 2 rocks scraping together, or a rock on a chalkboard, or 2 rocks on a chalkboard. You're sure he's seconds away from rubbing his bulky, calloused fingers all over you. You're not sure why he's hesitating. You can practically smell his enthusiasm. Another trigger. You feel his breath down on your feet, and then he stands and says something brief to Jessica. There's a pause before she gives you a single word answer. Or him. Might be meshed up. Sorry about that. Anyway, there's a pause before she gives a single word answer. Marcus lifts off the blindfold, scratching your temples and pulling some of your hair with it, but before you can see anything, his hand is covering your face. He says something more to Jessica, who begins to argue, but he has none of it. He brings you over to the door, still arguing, and you realize he's untied the rope around your ankles. He stops just outside the door, turns to you, and whispers in your ear, "Run." You don't question it. You sprint towards the door with an exit sign above it like it's the gate to heaven. You don't hear anyone behind you. You burst through the door, sucking in clean air, but you don't stop there. You run into the trees. You duck behind a tree to catch your breath and then turn to look around it, and there's not a building in sight. You are now entering the Twilight Zone. Yeah. So, what I did like about that one, concerning writing style, was like how you named your characters. That was actually pretty super duper. That's an interesting approach. P.S. Concerning that and how there were definitely things that I did like about your writing style. You do already have my email. Feel free to contact me. But we are looking for journalists, more journalists at the moment. And if that's something that you're interested in, we can talk about it and give you more details and then maybe go from there. Yeah, if we do have more writing contests, please enter, because I did enjoy reading that. Doom-ba-doom da-da-da-da. To the next one. I have to close this inbox. Sorry if this video is a little bit lengthy. Alright, so this is from Miss Nikki. And okie doke. Again, I might mess it up. Anyways, okay. No, there's no title on this. Sorry, I just accidentally closed it because I'm kind of a wizard like that. Just gonna reopen it now. Alright. Her tears fell like a violent rainstorm. I think you meant a violent rainstorm. I'll fix that for you, Nikki. Just great job. 10 out of 10. Alright, so we're starting over. Her tears fell like a violent rainstorm in the middle of April. Her sobs were heard from miles away. She couldn't believe her eyes. It had been 84 years. At last, she felt a fullness in her heart. The hole in her heart had been filled. After all these long, dreadful years, she found him again. Years had gone by as she looked for that tall, beautiful creature. She found him after years of wandering. She knew it was him from miles away. She smelt the familiar scent of his bark, heard the familiar sound of his leaves. She smiled through the rainstorm, knowing she was finally home. She had run for miles, knowing that oaky scent. When she saw him, she couldn't believe her eyes. He looked the same after all these years. She ran and hugged that tree, and she never let go. I cry every time, Nikki. I mean, that was super beautiful, but it's one of those things where, you know, like, with a really good pun, I feel like if it doesn't simultaneously kill you and bring your life, and if it does not simultaneously kill you and bring you life, then you're doing it wrong. And that did it right. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm also going to swing back to the two little captions that kind of inspired this contest because they make me so happy. Hold up. Scrolling. Almost there. Almost there. Okay, you know, this is the post, but I don't have the pictures on it. Worst comes to worst, I can, you know, just pull it up on my phone. See, I have this problem where when I'm really tired and have free time, I just spam my Facebook with statuses. So I'm having to like scroll through all of those. Yup. Oh shoot, there's a thing. Brianna tagged me in and I haven't looked at that yet. I'm sorry, Brianna. I kind of didn't notice it because I'm stupid. I'll look at that. Faux rizzle my nizzle. Okay. So this one is by Marilyn Harrington. And on the picture it says, after a long time once more they were reunited. They are perfect together. They understand each other, right down to the roots. Appreciate the pun. That pun, as well as just her general beautiful existence, is actually why she's part of our marketing team. Because Boss Man asked me, you know, who do you know? That's really witty. And I was like, Marilyn. Because she's a fantastic creature. And then, this is by Adriana. Don't know how to say your last name. If I said Nazarko did something, I'm stupid and don't know how to say things. So I apologize. But it's spelled Nazarko. So, yeah. Hers was so freaking beautiful as well. It was wrong, but something about it felt so right. Maybe it was fate. Maybe it was destiny. Maybe she was barking up the wrong tree. Only time would tell. You're beautiful, just so you know. Also, I don't know if you're into writing and stuff, or if that was just because you're witty, but again, back to the journalist thing, I do know you're a fabulous creature. You're my friend on Facebook and whatnot. We've spoken before. Feel free to hit me up if you're interested in, helping out with the company in any way, shape, or form. There are still certain positions that we're looking to fill. Yeah. That would be great. Oh, also, I was supposed to bicep dance in this video. According to popular vote, as well as my boss thought it would be funny. So maybe I'll just post like a random shorter video because this one is getting super lengthy. Apologize about that. But it's business related and stuff, so it's not like I was just rambling for 20 minutes, which, hopefully makes it more acceptable. Yeah. So, NEU magazine. If you are interested in participating in the company at all, neumagazine@gmail.com. Message us, please. It's NEU is spelled ANI and then just the letter U, magazine. We are currently working on starting up our YouTube channel. Our website is under some maintenance right now, but we have that. We have a commercial going. We have all kinds of fantastic things in the works right now, and it's honestly looking beautiful. We're focused mainly technically around anime and gaming reviews. We also showcase art, but beyond that, aside from written reviews, we are doing video reviews. We need them from all different aspects, not necessarily just avid gamers, but even if technical, from a technical viewpoint. Like with the making of video games or anime or anything, like if down to technical terms, that's fabulous too. We are going to be doing streaming with some gaming, all that jazz. Basically, if you have ideas and you're interested in participating, feel free to message us there. If you're interested more in the marketing respect, you can hit me up at theraddistradish@gmail.com, which is the RADDEST radish@gmail.com. 10 out of 10 business name. I source business pretty hard. So, I take all this jazz very seriously. So, don't question it, just go with it. Shh. Just let it happen, okay? Don't worry about it. But yeah, so, tell your friends, check our stuff out, like and share, all of that. And we will definitely be having more promotional things, specials, contests, etc. Yeah, and Lids was the lucky winner of $20 on Steam. So keep your eye out for more diddly deals, and we will be having plenty of fun little shindigs. 10 out of 10 vernacular. Am I right? If you have a favorite word you want me to use in the next video, comment below or send it to me in an email. 'Cause why not? That being said, I'm gonna wrap this up, and yeah, P.S. I think our YouTube's gonna be called NEUHQ. Random side note. Alright, yeah, it's like 2 a.m. I might try to get some sleep now. I guess keep an eye out for the bicep dancing video, because that'll probably happen eventually. And for Rizzle, have a fabulous night, and we don't have a catchphrase yet, so I'm just gonna end it there. Okay, bye.